this episode, we're looking at logical fallacies. These are when people set up what seems to be a calculated argument, but is really just an exercise in mental gymnastics.
Well, I'm reading this poem and it's so profound, and I like its rhythm and I like its sound by a very famous poet. No critic can criticize, and then I pause a moment and I start to realize he's telling lies, 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 lies.
The worst experience on the job was when I was hunting down a liar, and the person that I was trying to hunt down had bodyguards, and I'm pretty sure the bodyguards were liars too, but that didn't matter because they just...
I'm just gonna sprint after you. You try and keep up. You ready? You're the owner of Old Spice, aren't you?
Yeah.
Aren't you? Look at this. Yeah! Would you use a faulty analogy, which is a misleading connection between two things? Men don't have to smell that way, and they don't smell that way from deodorant. You just got just mate.
We get a lot of people on Checkmate with me, with my bud here, Chim, but we can't get everybody, and for that, we have a special section.
Yeah, so in this segment we just go through telling all the people that we couldn't check that they got checked.
Alright guys, this next one is an ad from a weird Indian job site. Let's just throw it up there so you can see. Want to see this?
Yeah, let me see. If you look here, a hasty generalization draws conclusions from scanty evidence. So you can't just try and tell people, oh, we're a really great job site when you found 600,000 people a job. That number really doesn't matter.
Who's to say?
Yeah, who's to say? Notcree.com. You got checked. Mate.
Coming up next on Checkmate.
Nights of fantasy, more like nights of fallacy. The more I realize, it's an important job.
You Tea Party member.
Now back to Checkmate.
We're here on top of this hill. Let's go catch a begging the questioner.
Hey you Tea Party member.
Yeah. Look at this.
You know, what is this supposed to mean? What do you mean by that?
Well, I mean, he's a fascist. The pirates...
Wait, why do you say he's a fascist? He's the president of the United States.
He's a fascist.
You use what's called begging the question, and that occurs when a writer simply restates the claim in a different way. Such an argument is circular. Get checked, mate.
Alright, so what are we doing right now?
Oh my God, he's here. There he is.
He's here?
The Cadbury man. Hey. Oh my gosh. Hey, Mr. Cadbury. Yeah. How are you? What's going on? You remember anything about this? Now what that was a non sequitur. A non sequitur doesn't logically relate to what came before it. So what did those weird, horrible children with their eyebrows have anything to do with your product, Cadbury? What? Nothing? That's what I thought. You just got checked, mate. Oh, something I love about checking a good man.
I've caught 500 liars in my life, and each one of them was a dirty, good for nothing.
Hey Chim, have you ever heard of post hoc?
Of course.
Well, have I got a doozy for you right here.
Right there! Right as I'm sitting down! I don't know how he does it, but there's no tack on my stool before he moves, and after he moves, there's a tack. Coincidence? I think not!
Wow, okay, yeah. Now, that was pretty clearly a post hoc to me. Now, everyone might not see that as a post hoc, but maybe once you explain it, they'll get a better idea.
Alright, so a post hoc is essentially false causality, where one thing happens and another thing happens that doesn't happen to be related, but people say that, you know, the one that came before caused the one that came after.
Yeah, well, whereas in this example right here, Dash may have actually put the tack on the seat, the teacher couldn't have actually come to that conclusion based on the video. So yeah, doesn't matter. He's a filthy liar, and he just got checked.
Checkmate.
Hello, John F. Kennedy. Do you remember this?
And so, my fellow Americans, ask not what your country can do for you. Ask what you can do for your country.
What you did right there is an equivocation, which is a half-truth, which is partially true but obscures the entire truth. You said two different meanings of the word country, my friend, and you just got checked, mate.
Now, we've all heard of a stacked deck of playing cards, but have you heard of stacked evidence?
Oh, of course I've heard of stacked evidence.
Let's roll a clip right now, show people what it's all about.
Verizon also won first in the US for data, call, speed, and reliability.
Wow. Okay, have I ever seen evidence that stacked?
I don't believe you have.
Well, why don't you go in and explain them a little bit about stacked evidence while I pull up my info.
Alright, well, stacked evidence is pretty much exactly what it sounds like. It's taking evidence and pretty much just stacking it right up in your favor. So, while the evidence that they presented might have been true, it was definitely pointing in one direction over the other, wasn't it?
Yes. Quite effectively, I might add, but also quite untruthfully, you liars.
Checked, mate.
Well, I'm reading this poem and it's so profound, and I like its rhythm and I like its sound by a very famous poet. No critic can criticize, and then I pause a moment and I start to realize he's telling lies, 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 lies.
Remember, kids, we've got connections to Santa Claus. Don't lie or we'll find out.